Hello everyone, in this video we'll be solving problem 3304. Find the kth character in a string game part 1. The problem statement is to return the value at the kth character in a word after applying the given operation on it. The operation is to generate a new string by changing each character in the word to its next character in the English alphabet. For example, when we start with the word with only one character A, after applying the operation, the updated string will be AB, where A was added as is, and the next character of A is B, which is appended to it. If we repeat the same operation on the updated string AB, the output will be AB will be added as is, and the next character for each of them, which will be B and C. To identify the kth element in the updated string, we need to continue applying the same operation until the length of the string is either greater than or equal to k. In example number 1, a is given as 5. So after applying enough operation where the length of the string is greater than 5, we get the string that is highlighted there, and the fifth character is B, which is our output. I hope you are able to understand the problem statement and the operation that we need to apply to get our output. Now let's switch to whiteboard and discuss the solutions. Let's start with a simple brute force approach. Using this approach, we'll try to build the characters or the strings at each level until the length of the string is greater than or equal to k. The rules given to us is straightforward, so we can easily come up with a logic to create that solution, and after that identify the kth element and return it. Let me go ahead and quickly write up the combination that will help us solve the value for 5. After applying the operation 3 times on the input string, the length of the string is greater than k. Referring to this string, our output will be B. This approach is simple and straightforward, but there are a lot of duplicate calculation that we are ending up having to do to solve it. Now let's think about how we can optimize our solution to improve the time complexity. To optimize our solution, let's start by understanding if there is any pattern in this string. As the length of this string is always going to be a multiple of 2, let's break it down into half and see if there is a pattern. If you look at the first character of each of the halves and compare its corresponding values, the difference is always going to be 1. If we take the value of A as 1 and B as 2, the difference is always going to be 1, where the value of the second half first character is greater than the first half first character. It may be a coincidence, but let's see if there is merit in this logic by breaking it down even further. If I break down the second half B, C, C, D into half and look at the first character of each of the halves, the difference is still 1. The first character is B and the second character is C. If we break it down even further to individual characters and split them into half, we can see the same logic still applies. B and C, the difference is 1, while on the other side, C and D, the difference is 1. Now that we have established there is a pattern in all of the values, let me explain how this is going to be useful. I'm basically trying to connect the first character A with the kth character and identify how many spaces or values I need to increment to k to get my output. Going by this example, as the value of k is 5, and if I break this entire string down into half, the 5 is the first element in the second half. So I know I need to add 1 to the value of A based on the English alphabet to get the value at kth position, that is fifth position. Let's take a different example where the value of k is 7. Now to calculate the value at the kth position, that is the 7th position, I at least need to know what is supposed to be the value at the 5th position because it appears in the second half of the string. If you break it down, you can see the 5th position, that is B, is the first character on the first half, and C, that is the 7th position, is the first on the second half. And as we already knew, the value of B is A plus 1. So the value of C will become A plus 2 because we are incrementing one more to the formula. Using this approach, we are trying to determine how many spaces we need to increment to build our formula to calculate the kth position in the entire string. Instead of having to calculate the entire string and all of the characters, we are only focusing on calculating the value at the kth position. With this solution, our time complexity is improved to O of log n, as we are breaking the entire array down into halves until we are pointing at the kth element. This approach improves our time complexity significantly. While the space complexity is O of 1, because we are only using couple of variables, one to record the length of the entire string and another variable to record how many spaces we need to shift to calculate our output. I hope you are able to understand the problem statement and its solution. The solution was slightly tricky. It didn't seem like it's an easy problem, but hopefully this was helpful. Let me show you how we can implement this using Python. In this Python implementation, I'll be using two variables, the shift counter and the length. The shift counter will help me determine how many spaces I need to increment to A to get my output, while the length will represent the size of the string. On the next line, I'm starting a while loop until length is less than k. This is where I'm multiplying the length by 2 every time until length is no longer less than k. After that, I'm starting another while loop until k is greater than 1. Inside this loop, I'm going to break the entire length of the string down into smaller pieces by halving it every time until it is broken down into individual components or characters. Inside the while loop, I'm checking if the length of k is greater than the half of the length of the string. If yes, it means it exists on the second half of the string if I divide it into two pieces. In that case, I need to calculate its relative position in the second half, as we are going to be dividing the entire string into halves and focusing on the single half. Right? As k is on the second half, I'm incrementing the shift counter by 1. For each loop, I'm dividing the length of the string by 2. After the while loop is complete and k is no longer greater than 1, I'm adding the shift count variable to A to calculate the corresponding character and return it as the output. This code, when submitted on LeetCode, beats 100% of the submissions in terms of runtime and 84% in terms of memory. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you are able to understand the explanation. The details to access the source code is available in the description below. Feel free to check that out, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.